Here we see Aleph Null chewing on Bill Bissett once again. This being July 2020, the plague year. And what we see is three brushes in Aleph Null 3.1. One of the brushes is drawing polygons. Another of the brushes is drawing circles. And then the third brush is a rotating straight line. And all of the brushes are using the same subset of Bill Bissett visual poems that I selected. And this subset of Bill's work is more graphical than a lot of the other visual poems that are, while graphical and visual, more centered on the shape of the overall shape of the words. So these are just more inherently graphical. Maybe inherently is the wrong word. Immediately graphical. It's Weed Whacker Monday here in Port Moody. Monday is always Weed Whackerly. Tuesday is always Weed Whackerly. Wednesday is somewhat less Weed Whackerly. I've been creating stills of this, I'll look at this and I'll say, I'm going to stop it, and there's a keeper. But I think it's also kind of good as an animation that you can watch as an interestingly visual, poetic animation. The ones that I create of stills are, you can read it more because it's still, but they're also, I'm stopping it because it's a good visual composition, and you can see that the good composition comes and goes. In this, it's better at some moments than others in terms of the visual composition, but it's sort of enduringly interesting to look at as an animation. I'd suggest that you view this full screen. I did record this at 1080, so if you let it go for a few seconds at full screen, it should be good. I'm recording a screen that's 1920 by 1080, so good resolution. Actually, the images that I'm creating are 3840 by 2160, the stills that I'm creating, but of course the animation is going to be smaller than that. And the stills are in SlidVid 26 of my collab with the great Bill Bissett. Bill Bissett is an amazing visual poet who's been creating visual poetry since the 60s, and he's 80 this year. And this contains visual poems of his from the 60s to the current time. He lived in Vancouver during the 60s. And I live in Vancouver right now, so the Vancouver Simon Fraser University Special Collections has an amazing collection of his work from the 60s to the present. And with Bill's permission, I went in there and photographed for a full day. I told them I was coming. Tony Powers is the name of one of the main guys who works there. I told them I was coming with Bill's permission to do this photographing of Bill's work, and I looked at their catalog, online catalog of stuff, and so I gave Tony a PDF of the stuff that I wanted to look at. And when I got there, there was like 6 feet of Bill's work ready for me to look at. And they had a really nice camera that I could use to photograph this work. And so I spent the whole day going page by page through 6 feet of Bill's work from the 60s to the present, doing photography of the visual poetry that really struck me. What a day that was. It was just an amazing art experience for me. One of the best art experiences I've ever had. And so I got these 300 plus photos of Bill's work. And then I worked on each of those photos, removing the background and making the text haloed. As you can see in these that they layer quite nicely. They're fairly legible, even though they're layered. And that's because, as you can see, the text is haloed. That is, there's space around the text that makes it more readable. And so I worked on each of those 300 plus photos and fed it all then to Aleph Null. And I've created thousands of images of Aleph Null chewing on Bill Bissett's work. It's just an incredible visual poetry project. I think it's just I can look at it for a long time, and it's readable as well. It's often, if you look at the stills, a lot of them are just endlessly readable. Endlessly readable, and also in terms of just the look of them, they look great. So this is using Aleph Null 3.1, which is at vispo.com/Aleph4, numeral 4. And if you know what you're doing, you can get that to look just like this. Well, no, that's not true. You can't on the online version, because I'm using a subset of Bill's images in this piece. You can't create that subset of images with the online version of Aleph Null. But of course, I can select any subset I like on my computer because I've got all the images on my computer. You can create these 3 brushes in the online version and have them be using images by Bill Bissett, but just not this particular set of Bill Bissett images. Thanks, Bill. Hoping this finds you well in this plague year.